Hey, honey,
Yes, Barry?
let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Fascina el viento, este ritmo de palmas, sin ti naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers. Welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I'm your host, Barry Kessler. I'm just so happy to introduce you to my favorite vacation destination. In fact, it's my new home, but maybe it's yours too. Who knows? It's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. The music you're just listening to is performed by Alberto Perez, and Alberto is the owner of the Lapa Lapa group of restaurants. Those are the Lapa Lapa, Puerto Vallarta's oldest restaurant on the famous Los Muertos beach. And then there's the El Dorado Restaurant Beach Club right next door. So you can enjoy that fantastic view of the Los Muertos Pier, all lit up at night in beautiful colors, or during the day in its grand splendor for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, seated with your toes in the sand right at the water's edge. It's so romantic. It's so Puerto Vallarta, my friends. This week we are going to one of the iconic restaurants with a lot of history in Puerto Vallarta. It's El Torito Sports Bar and Barbecue House, the number one sports bar in Puerto Vallarta, now located in Marina, Vallarta. We're going to be talking with the man in charge. His name is Reno Perez. Then, with Dia de los Muertos fast approaching, I thought that it would be really fun to talk to a guy who does ghost tours in Puerto Vallarta, and his name is Manny Hernandez, and his company is called Vallarta Ghost Walk. He's going to even tell us a ghost story or two, so stand by for that. We're going to have Ernesto Garagos. He's going to be telling us a little bit about what's happening on the Isla Quale over at the Cultural Center. And if you're in town, the Isla Quale is going to be hopping this afternoon and on into the night, actually. So if you're in town this very day, get on down there. Anyway, he will be talking to us about a friend of theirs setting up there at the Cultural Center, as well as talking to us about a tour that they put on. It's called Vallarta Murals and Art Walk, and they do that weekly. So we'll listen to Ernesto. We then have, we have Vallarta news and more. So let's see what's happening this week in Puerto Vallarta, the 1st of November, 2024. I am still coming to you from our Airbnb way up high above Casa Kimberly in Gringo Gulch. We have an incredible view, you guys, of the Zona Romantica, the bay, the Rio Quale, the buildings, and and all the way up in the mountains soaring above these white buildings. It is amazing. It has a gorgeous view, and you know what I'm going to do? I will share with you the information about this Airbnb as soon as we move out, okay? Not before. We're planning on moving out in a few weeks. I'm not going to tell you when, and so after that, I'll let the cat out of the bag. So anyway, you're going to hear some noise more than likely. They're building stuff down there in Vallarta. I don't have a car, and that's how I used to listen to my podcast to see how it sounds. So please let me know if it's distracting, okay? Anyway, Puerto Vallarta is gearing up for tonight and tomorrow's festivities, celebrating the Day of the Dead, better known as Dia de los Muertos. We've talked a lot about this over the years, and I hope that you know enough about it. I mean, they've got that movie Coco and stuff. If you don't, go see the movie, okay? Anyway, there's this big Katrina. It's over on the Malecon. It's right next to the lighthouse over there. And the rumor is that it is more than 28 meters tall. It's one of those, they want to, break a world record. This is the third year that they've done this. And they're going all out this year. There's also a dozen smaller, or at least a dozen or more smaller Katrinas. They're all set up along the Malecon. And those are sponsored by restaurants and hotels and different associations that are all along the bay. They're really pretty too, and I'll try to take pictures of all of them. I'll post them in the show notes tomorrow. Okay, so this is going to be a late posting in the show notes, so don't look for links and stuff like that until after the 2nd of November, please. 2024, of course. Now, this afternoon, all eyes are on the Isla Quale. Beginning at 4, there's going to be live music. They're going to have food and drink and live music. It's going to start from 4 until 10. They're going to have face painters on the island as well. They're going to be, they're going to be painting faces, I suppose. And they're going to be there from 4 until 9 tonight. So if you got a party to go to, you want to get yourself all, gussied up, you need somebody to paint your face, go on down to the Quale. They charge for that. They take donations. Let's just put it that way. This is the 1st of November, and they're going to, let's see, they're also going to have a lotteria, and so little lottery games, I guess, and that's going to be from 4 until 9 as well. Now, it's going to be a full day on the Isla. So if you're in town, definitely check out the action. The bands are really good. The people that are performing on the Isla are terrific. I think I can almost hear them now. They should be starting pretty soon. In fact, I better hurry up and finish this before they kick it on. On the Malecon, they're going to be having the Puerto Vallarta School Orchestra. They're going to be there over at Los Arcos Amphitheater. So make sure, once again, if you're in town, that's all happening tonight. Now, tomorrow is the Day of the Dead, and it is the big event. It's, of course, 2nd of November is the Day of the Dead, and they have a parade, and it starts up at the Sheraton Hotel. And then the ending point is right in the romantic zone over at Parque Lázaro Cárdenas, or Tile Park, as we like to call it. Debbie and I went up to the cemetery up in Cinco de Diciembre, or they call it the Panteón here, the Cinco de Diciembre. Just the other day, actually, we were giving a tour to our first visitors from California who came in on a cruise ship. We were so excited. And while we went up to the Panteón, they were painting the walls. They were touching up the murals on the walls. It's a very interesting graveyard, you guys. If you've never been there, it's just very different from any place that you've ever been. It's like a little city, it's like a little city in there with little houses. And Manny from Vallarta Ghost Walk will be talking a little bit more about that particular graveyard in a couple minutes. So anyway, it looks as if most of Calle San Salvador, the street that goes up from the ocean to the graveyard, is almost finished. They did a total redo. It's kind of like they did, if you know about what they did over on Calle Honduras, with new streets and wide sidewalks and wheelchair access, stroller-friendly sidewalk ramps, or whatever you call those things. But the street's not done yet for Dia de los Muertos, but it's almost there. It's been a long haul for the businesses that are all along that street. And, getting that street done was a big muddy mess, especially during the rainy season. And speaking of rain, hurricane season is officially over. How about that? According to the weather gods out there, actually stopped raining about 3 weeks ago. And the weather changed. Actually, it just changed just the other night here in Paradise. So things actually seem to be cooling off at long last. It's been a very, very hot time for me and Debbie. I don't think we've never been here in September or all of October. So anyway. Now, the reason that it has taken me a little extra time to get this episode out is because my 9-year-old laptop, a good friend of mine, finally died on me, and I had to scramble around to get myself back up and running again. Now, I've been putting this off for about 2 years now. Debbie looks at me and says, "When are you going to fix that?" And I say, "Oh, soon." What happened was, maybe about 2 years ago, I left my laptop in a carry-on piece of luggage, and it was crushed by a stack of bags that got thrown on top of it in a flyaway bus that was taking me to Los Angeles from Van Nuys, California. And so when I went to work on my laptop the next day, I noticed that the touchscreen was cracked, and I've been limping this thing along for some time now. So anyway, I didn't want to get a new machine, and I didn't want to move the world over onto the new machine. You know what I mean? Anyway, luckily, my wife, Debbie, and I both purchased new laptops at our Costco in the LA area before we left to go live in Paradise. So I actually had a spare to work with. So lucky for me, I also had a backup of all my files on 2 external drives. So I wasn't dead in the water. And it's a good thing because I'd been gone for a whole lot longer than that. Anyway, what a pain. Passwords. I had to put in some new editing software for my audio, and I had to learn how to use that new software. It was kind of slowed me down, and so I'm back up and running, thank goodness. And by the way, speaking of bringing in multiple laptops into Puerto Vallarta, the last episode we actually had listener Stacy. From Canada, Stacy wrote in regarding the ridiculous taxes that people were forced to be paying if they brought in multiple devices like tablets or smartphones and laptops when they were flying into the airport in Cancun, Mexico. And he was actually kind of worried that the same thing was happening in Puerto Vallarta at their airport. And of course, I said no. And the reason was we just came rolling through with a bunch of electronic stuff, and including, those 2 brand new computers along with our old ones. So, Stacy emailed me back to tell me that the governor of Quintana Roo put an end to that particular thievery and made sure that changes were made. And currently all is now well when you fly into Cancun as far as your electronics are concerned. I don't suggest that you go all out now and bring in a bunch of computers. Okay, don't do that. But I want to thank you again, Stacy, for sending me that article from the Riviera Maya. It was dated October 12th, and it was entitled "No More Limits: Cancun Travelers No Longer Charged for Arriving with Too Many Electronics." And I have a link to that article in the show notes if you want to do a little bit deeper dive on that. But for now, according to this article, it's all cool right now in Quintana Roo and in Cancun. Now, the beginning of November traditionally is the start of the high season in Puerto Vallarta, and tomorrow, November the 2nd, not only is Dia de los Muertos, but it's also the first day for the Saturday Olas Altas market at Parque de los Azulejos over in Lázaro Cárdenas Park. And then all the daily markets will again, start up as we just love them to do, including the one at the Marina, at Marina Vallarta. All right, let's get to our first interview, and let's hear from Ernesto Garagos before the music starts down there on the island, who has some news for us about what you're going to find over at the Vallarta Cultural Center on Isla Cuale. So we decided to go have beer and talk with Ernesto, and we're going right now to Frederico Madero 333 Restaurant El Granero for some of that beer and some of the air conditioning space that they have there as well. And let's talk with Ernesto Garagos and Kika Gomez in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Ernesto, Kika, gracias for joining me today.
Gracias.
Gracias a ti.
All right. I want to know a little bit about, you've got a lot of things happening at this gallery of yours. Tell me a little bit about this gallery. What's it called?
Centro Cultural Vallartense.
Okay. And
we call for shorter name CCV o CCV en español, pero es Centro Cultural Vallartense. And something important about this little cultural center, because most people think that we depend on the government, but this gallery was the first cultural center in Puerto Vallarta more than 30 years ago. So this little space is iconic in Puerto Vallarta and has been representing for many people through the years. And some artists has been starting their careers there many years ago. Now that the city grew up, pues we got a tiny space, no? But
Right.
the important thing is that we are in the middle of the nature, and we are in the middle besides the cultural center of the government, and we create a concept about three words: art, nature, and community. So we work always in art, nature, because we plant around many medicinal plants. Sadly, we lost some of them in the hurricanes,
Right.
last hurricanes, 2 hurricanes, but still we have some of them. And the other word that we promote is community. So we try always to cross work some projects with other groups or schools or group of artists, government sometimes, So
Yeah.
it's part of our mission.
Yeah. All right. So what's going on there? You're doing a project right now for Dia de los Muertos.
Yes, we are happy that participate in the Los Días de los Muertos tradition in Mexico, and we're gonna create inside of the gallery. We're gonna create the next days altar, a big altar, ofrenda,
Uh-huh.
a little different than sometimes people can see one.
Right.
It's gonna be original, and that thing is that I like in the tradition in Mexico, that people put the creativity to make different kind of things about the dead. In our case, we wanna try to do that for people can enjoy the aesthetic, people can enjoy the materials, people can see besides the traditional things with a little different perspective, and we want to show to the people in three languages info about los días de los muertos. So when you be on the visiting the isla del Río Cuale, you can visit us next days, and you can go inside the gallery and see all this info that can open the perspective that everybody has about the how the Los Muertos tradition is has been evolutionate through the times.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and of course, on the Isla, they're going to be having a big thing going on there. They're going to have Isla de los Muertos going on there.
Yeah.
So it's a great time to stop in and check out the gallery there. Now, you guys are also doing. Last time I checked, it was last year. You were doing walking tours for murals and stuff like that. Are you still doing that?
Yeah, we stopped that for the rain season, and now we wanna start in the end of November. We wanna start again the Vallarta Murals and Art Walk is the name of the brand that we create.
Okay.
Vallarta Murals and Art Walk. That is a tour walking in the city, talking with people about the murals on the street, talking about the artist, talking about the local scene, and we do that. We do this every Friday at 5. Is the day.
Mm-hmm.
Fridays at 5 o'clock, and the walking takes 2 hours, 2.5 maximum.
Okay.
So people enjoy it, learn a lot of things about the murals, the artists, and we took the people to hidden places, very local places, very local hidden murals and hidden jewels, no?
Yeah, like
Around.
really secret places people don't know about, right? Right?
Yeah. And we are artists, we are muralists too, so we connect with the people from artists to visitors
Yeah,
or locals, wherever they
right.
want.
All right. So if somebody wanted to sign up for a tour, how do they do it? Do they just show up at 5 o'clock and at the cultural center? How do you
Yeah,
do
they
that?
can show up and they can and they next day they're gonna see a poster in the social media and they can link in our links and they can reserve.
Okay. And that's going to be happening every Friday at 5 during the high season, starting
Yeah.
at November when?
Yeah, November 22.
November the 22nd. Okay, everybody. So mark your calendars for that's when the start date is. And of course, you'll just probably go until, I don't know, March or April or something like
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
so all right, I'll have all that information in the show notes. You can find it at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. Just check it out. Just hit the link there. It'll take you right to that mural walk. And it's called, once again, what is the name you gave it?
Vallarta Murals and Art Walk.
Vallarta Murals and Art Walk. Okay, so very good. All right, so thank you very much, Ernesto. We're going to have all that in the show notes. And looking forward to seeing you guys all at the island at Dia de los Muertos time.
Yeah, sure. Enjoy and visit the isla. Wanna be very beautiful activities for different groups of people. The government gonna make some activities too in the isla this time, so the isla gonna be more vibrant with different things.
Yeah. It'll have more of a local flair to it sounds like to me. Very, very good.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Ernesto. Thanks for talking with us.
Thank to you.
Thank you so much, Ernesto. And Kika, too. I got a hello out of her. We're gonna be talking with her next week. Anyway, I have information for that art mural walk. They're getting ready to get that up soon, so that's all in the show notes. And make sure you go and take that walk. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now, next we are going. Oh, and make sure you get over there and see the ofrenda over on the island as well. Now, next we're going to go to the other side. That's right. We're going to go to the spirit world. We're going to take a ghost walk, shall we? Now, I thought that, it would be kind of fun to introduce you to the only guy, actually, who does ghost tours in Puerto Vallarta. And his name is Manny Hernandez. And Manny's company is called Vallarta Ghost Walk. And I'm going to let Manny do all his stuff. Let's go right now and meet up with Manny right now. Let's hear about some of the ghosts who roam the town that you may or may not know about. Maybe you know a few ghosts here, and maybe you can tell Manny about them. I asked Manny and his daughter Gia to meet me at a little restaurant that I wanted to try for breakfast. And these folks were kind enough to actually let us record our interview out on their front patio. So that's what you're going to hear a little bit. You'll probably hear a little traffic here. But the restaurant is called El Mesón de los Sabores. And I got to say, it was really good. It was really, really good. So hey, let's stop with the breakfast stuff. Anyway, we need to get to ghosts, shall we? Let's go to that front patio that I talked about over on Calle Roma 193A in Colonia Diaz Ordaz. And let's learn about ghosts with Manny Hernandez and Vallarta Ghost Walk in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Manny, thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, and what was your path that led you here to Puerto Vallarta?
I'd love to. I'm originally proud Puerto Vallartan, born, raised here. Spent most of my first 22 years of my life here, making friends in the lots and lots of connections. Then I decided to take a hiatus from Mexico, going back to Canada for 20 years. And I just recently returned 2 years ago and living here full time with my family.
Okay, all right. And here we are, by the way, at El Mesón de los Sabores, which is it's a cool little restaurant here in Versailles. And so thank you guys for letting us use your place as a little recording studio. Manny, tell us what you do. You do tour. You do ghost tours, right?
I do ghost tours, exactly. That is my passion. I've always had a passion for everywhere I go. I want to learn the local legends, the history, the folklore behind the stories, because I do think that it's a great way to gauge a local community and a local culture based on their legends, right? They keep the stories alive. They pass from generation to generation. And those are the stories that truly speak about a particular place. So I always had a passion for learning those stories. And I also don't mind learning about the paranormal stuff as well. That's something that I've always had a fascination about.
Yeah.
So everywhere we would go to a city, a new place, part of the discovery was always to see what they have as far as ghost tours goes. And I developed a passion for that many years. I've done many ghost tours all throughout the US, Canada, not too many in Mexico. I always felt that was missing here. And that was exactly the reason that brought me to do what I'm doing right now.
Tell us a couple of places that you've done ghost tours in other places of the world.
Yeah, of course. So a lot of the tours I've done in the U.S. are in the big cities. So, for example, Chicago, I think they have like 25 different varieties of tours there. I didn't do them all. I've done maybe 2. And Boston was one of my favorite ones. The Boston Commons there, they have like maybe 15 different tours there. I did about 2. Most recently, I did San Antonio and also Austin as well. Great little companies out there too. Canada, I've done them in Toronto and Quebec City, in Ottawa. That's where I lived. So I've done all of them in Canada, and they're always bringing more as well. But everywhere I go, even in England, I had the chance to do some of them there. Lots of content.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
England has so much content, and then Scotland as well. So everywhere.
Let's talk about the content here then. I mean, it's not old Europe or anything like that, but there's some crazy stuff that happens in Vallarta, right?
Yes, there is. So Mexico relatively is a new country, right? It's not as old as, Europe. But we do sometimes forget that there's people living here for a very long time. So the Aztecs, the earliest recordings we have of their history goes back 3,000 years. So we've always had stories that have been passed down from the Aztecs all the way to the modern era. So there is a lot of content, and the Day of the Dead really is originated from them. So now there is a really big spotlight on what the Day of the Dead is here in Mexico and around the world, which, UNESCO has recently declared that heritage for humanity. So we're pretty proud of that.
Yeah.
So people have awoken an interest and an appetite for the Day of the Dead. And that obviously brings back the origins and also the ideas and the beliefs behind it that have morphed into what it is today. And that gives us so much content. The tragedy is that we don't really share that very much.
I see. All right. So you do this all year round. You're not just doing it during the Day of the Dead time, but I mean, that's a perfect time to be doing this, right? I mean, so tell us if you are going to be looking to take a tour with you, what to expect. What would happen there, Manny?
Of course, we do it all year round, although, we're more active in the winter than in the summer, but I live here full time. We like to share this all year round, so it's not fair that people only do this in the winter time. So yes, we do have 2 different tours. They run all year round. One is at 6 p.m., one is at 8 p.m. One is focused in the cemetery. We have a very celebrated Cinco de Diciembre cemetery here. It's very colorful. If you never had a chance to go see it, go just, walk in and look at around. It's just so much to see there. So I basically bring people in there, explain to them the local traditions, and then talk a lot about the origins of the Day of the Dead. After that, we do have another ghost tour at 8 p.m. And that's more the traditional ghost tour that people are probably more acquainted with. That's when we walk throughout town. We stopped at some of the places where the most history happened. We stopped at some of the haunted places as well. We tell all the context, the story, and everything that evolution, the beliefs all the way to how we see them today. It took us a lot to gather all this content, and we have a really cool tour where we share a lot of the best ideas and best tours and best stories. But we do have a lot more content, so we do hope to do more tours in the future where we have the time and the space to share more of these stories with people.
Right. Yep. I imagine that as time goes by, you learn more from people who have some tales to tell, right? All right. So how long are these tours? How long do they last?
Very easy. It's about an hour and a half. Now, the one in the cemetery, there's not a lot of walking. There's a lot of standing there because we do. I mean, the cemetery is only two square kilometers. It's not that big, so we walk a little bit through some of the most celebrated areas. But the second tour, we do a little bit more walking. That one's a little bit more challenging. It's about 1 kilometer walk. So we started the Parque Hidalgo and we finish at the Rio Quale Island. But we do stop at a few places along the way. So it is not a very challenging walk, but I mean, for you to be standing and walking for an hour and a half is basically what is required.
Right. You got to be ready.
And good walking shoes.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You folks with the walkers, just, no, never mind.
Vallarta is not a very friendly city for walkers, wheelchairs, skateboards, anything with wheels, unfortunately.
Well, you're right. You're absolutely right. So be careful as you move around this town, right? Because you don't want to be needing one of those.
You don't want to become a ghost story yourself.
Do you have any kind of a ghost story you could share with us today?
You know what? Yes, we do have several ghost stories. One that I like to share is one that is probably the most known around the Rio Quale. The Rio Quale has a very celebrated ghost called the Sad Cowboy. I don't know if you ever heard about the Sad Cowboy.
I have not.
So the story goes back to where the Spanish used to use that little piece of land in the middle of the Rio Quale as a storage and warehouse to bring all the mining stuff from the mountains, bring it to the ocean, and bring it to export. They used to store a lot of precious metals there. The story goes back that there's a hidden treasure there somewhere, and there is this ghost who is protecting it. Now, this ghost it usually makes his appearance anything between 2 and 4 in the morning. And if you walk through the bridge of the Rio Quale, there's a lot of benches where people can just sit and relax. So it became a really big thing here in the city that if you're in the area and if you are around that time at night, you can go sit there, see if you can sit in one of those benches and catch a glimpse of this celebrated sad cowboy story, though, because he normally walks around the Quale Island.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, that's for all you people who are so loaded and drunk that you wake up at about 2 a.m. on the island and a cat's like licking your face, right?
Well, I would say they're maybe too drunk. Maybe the party is just not stopped for them, right?
Thank you. It's very, Manny, that's a nice way to look at things.
There you
very
go.
Nice. Yeah. Very sweet. Very sweet. Any other ghost story you want to, or maybe you need to hold that off until, you take a tour.
No,
right?
You know what? I go into deep explanation of why that story is even there. But I mean, there's this story that most original Vallartans knows, which is the heartbroken woman. That happened when we started. A lot of people don't know this, but the Parque Hidalgo used to be the original cemetery, and it served the community for 200 years. So there's a lot of story there. They turned it into a park, but there's still a lot of people buried in there.
Yeah.
When they were doing that transition, there's this new ghost. It gave the rise to the story of the heartbroken woman that started showing up there. And then once we started transporting all those bodies to the new cemetery, the Cinco de Diciembre, well, she stopped showing up there, but then she started showing up in the cemetery. So there was a transition story for that particular ghost that still lives to this day, because there's still, the legend says that she still walks the cemetery. Now, there's a specific reason why she does that. Now, to learn that, you have to come and learn the stories, obviously.
There you go.
But that is a great way to learn about the local beliefs of how people was really upset that they didn't want it to disturb the resting place. But the government went ahead to do it anyway. Much like the government of Mexico does things
yes,
sometimes, right?
Hey, not even the government of Mexico, brother. Come on.
Every government, I guess, right? They were not happy They did it anyway, and it was like, and I told you so from the population to the government. You see what happens when you disturb the dead,
when
right?
you mess with dead people. Yeah.
Exactly.
Now,
yes.
I was told by a cab driver, a female cab driver actually told me that the reason that they call the Playa Los Muertos is because there was originally also a graveyard there as well.
Correct. Yes. Huge story there. The historians, which I met with so many historians and read books, but I've actually met with the cronistas, which are the name for the historians here. There was basically a giant battle that happened in that particular stretch of beach. So it was about 1 kilometer stretch. So just picture this. When the Spanish showed up, they showed up with so many galleons. Their numbers were estimated in 30,000. Now, when they showed up, there was a union of so many different tribes. They came to receive them and gave them a proper welcome because they knew what they were coming for, right? They were coming here to kill and enslave. So when they showed up and they saw all these people on the beach with different color flags, they call it the Bay of Flags, and that's how the name sticks today. But what happened is that they estimated 50,000 natives versus 30,000 Spanish, and that battle happened in that particular beach, Playa Los Muertos.
Okay.
There was an estimated 10,000 people that died in that battle. The Spanish won the day at the end of the day, but you can just imagine the visual of 10,000 corpses in a 1 kilometer stretch of beach. And they didn't call it the Beach of the Dead because they died there. They called it the Beach of the Dead because they stayed there. Back then, there was no cleaning crew. No one was going to come and bury those bodies, right? Who's going to take 10,000 bodies and bury them, though? So for 30 years, that beach was the beach that belonged to the dead.
Okay. Yes. All right. Wow. Another twist on that story.
There you go.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, you're gonna have to go and take a tour with Manny. I mean,
absolutely, you're more than welcome. We have them almost every day. As we move to the high season, we pretty much have them every day. Super easy. Is an hour and a half of fun. Lots of history. We don't talk about just ghost stories. We talk about the history of the town. So you end up learning a lot of stuff. At the same time, it's very kids friendly as well. So there's no jumps or scares. Is basically a nice traditional stories so they can learn about the history and background of Puerto Vallarta and Mexico in general, though. So kids are welcome. Teenagers usually are really engaged in this, which is one of the challenges things to do as a parent, engage your teenagers somewhere. But I am mostly proud at the comments and feedback that I get after the tour. I have so many people that at the end of the tour says like, Manny, this particular thing is the best thing we did in our entire vacation. And that gives me going. That makes me so happy that I can share this with them and that they're giving me such good feedback that I want to keep doing this and keep sharing these stories with people so that these stories don't die in Puerto Vallarta. These stories will go on living in the hearts of everyone that come and spends an hour and a half and walks with us.
Excellent. Okay, so how do people do this?
Well, they can go to our website. We are the only ghost tour everywhere. So if you put Ghost Tour Vallarta, you're going to go straight to Google and that's going to show up. So we have our website. You can book yourself there. We have a WhatsApp number as well. Social media, we are mostly on Facebook. That's what everyone does here. So you do have a few ways to reach us, though. But we would love to host you one day, you and your wife, and any of your listeners.
Excellent. All right. Well, listen, I'll have all the information in the show notes. You can find it at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com, where we have the ghost tour. And you've got WhatsApp too, right? So people can get a hold of you that way as well, right?
Absolutely.
All right, we'll have that all in the show notes as well. I was introduced to Gia, who's your daughter here. She also is the social media guru on your team. Is that right?
Yes, we have grown quite a bit over the last 2 years. And the one thing that I'm not very proficient at is social media and marketing, though. So I invited her to come and join me, and she's here right now.
All right, so.
Hi, I'm Gia.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show. So, Gia, you're now you are just new from Canada, right?
Yeah.
You came down, right?
Yeah, born in Quebec City, spent all of my life in Ottawa, and I always knew that I wanted to live here. We would come almost every year, and I knew that was going to be one mandatory stop on my path, and finally I'm able to make that happen. I've been here about 3.5 weeks, and I don't really plan on leaving. I love it here.
Well, good for you. That's very smart. It's very smart of you to do that. Well, so now you've just met the back office here, everybody. So you know, for ghost tours, that we got support happening here. Isn't that right, Gia?
Exactly. I'm the mastermind behind any of the social media stuff that'll be going on, and I'll be around. So I'll be around for the tours.
Excellent. Very good. All right. Well, listen, Manny, I want to thank you very much for coming on the show today. As I said, go check out the show notes. I've got, you'll send me some pictures so I can have some cool little things I can throw in there too, right?
Absolutely. Happy to do so.
You'll be able to look at that as well. So once again, the name of the company is Vallarta Ghost Walk, yes?
Yeah, Vallarta Ghost Walk.
Excellent. All right. Well, very good. I will, once again, thank you for coming on the show. We'll post this for the Dia de los Muertos. So as it's coming up, all you folks that want to do something a little bit different for Dia de los Muertos, look up Manny and Vallarta Ghost Walk.
Only 5-star reviews. I appreciate you coming and checking us out. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you so much, Manny. I cannot wait to take one of those ghost walks with you, my friend. I can't wait. Soon. Now I have all of his information and some pictures as well. You can find them in the show notes over at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. Next, we are going to an iconic Vallarta restaurant with very deep roots in Puerto Vallarta, and the name of that restaurant is El Torito Sports Bar and Barbecue House. It is known as the #1 sports bar in Puerto Vallarta. It's one of the first restaurants that my wife and I frequented when we first came to Vallarta in the 1980s. It was El Torito over in the Romantic Zone. Back then it was drinking and dancing and ribs. It's always been ribs, even back in the day. But then it transformed into more of a sports bar. The ribs are still there. And a barbecue. It's very, very good. I could go on and on about this, but I think that you'd enjoy the story told by the son of the creator of this concept behind El Torito's and the history of this famous restaurant now located in the Marina Vallarta. So let's hear it from the son. Let's go right now to Guaya 112 in Marina Vallarta, and let's talk with Reno Perez at El Torito Sports Bar and Barbecue House, the #1 sports bar in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Okay, so Reno, thanks for coming on the show today.
Good morning, Barry. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, wonderful. And let's talk about, when we talk about El Torito, it brings us back to our first time here in Puerto Vallarta. Yeah. And I think we talked about this. I think you were born that year, weren't you? In 1984?
In 84, I was born. It's a big legacy. My dad did a good thing with his brand, with his product. He started the business in 1982. That's when he started it. But it was in 1984 when he really brought the concept of sports bar and the ribs together. So we always say that the #1 sports bar in town was born in 1984. Yeah. And since then, he was a very friendly guy. He was a very, very friendly guy, and he loved to meet new people. He loved to interact with his clients and everything. So he just worked it out very well. And I think I was 20 years old or 25 years old when I started running the business directly. I started over there with him.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, now we are in the Marina. We are sitting at El Torito, so it's still alive. It's still here. Tell us about your restaurant here, which is beautiful, by the way. It's lovely. No stairs, no steps.
Yeah, no stairs like in the other place. That's good. I'll tell you the story. So we were downtown. I was young. and I wanted it more, like a very young person, right, who thinks he can do some more and everything. So I opened here my second location with my dad. Still, we were working together. We always work together. And this location in Marina right now, it's going for its 9th year, I think. 9th year already, yes. And And let me tell you something else. There was a time where I had 3 locations, one in Nueva Vallarta. So I don't know if you knew that.
No.
The problem with that one was that, COVID COVID hit us.
It killed you.
So I only lasted open over there for 3 or 4 months because COVID hit. And I immediately said, you know what, this is not going to be okay. This is not going to be business wise. So let's stop it here.
You bailed early.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I had to. It's everything happens for a reason. But so that happened. COVID hit us. Then we closed Nueva Vallarta. And then for personal and health issues for my dad, we had to close the downtown location. So nowadays, this is our only location. But we're very happy. We're very proud of our continue the legacy in some way. Same recipe still, same product. A lot of my right hand manager here. It's my manager from all life. He has with us wow, I don't know, 30 years maybe.
Oh yeah,
So the legacy still continues, and I'm very proud with this location right now.
Yeah, well, it's a beautiful restaurant. I'll have pictures in the show notes. Of course, you can find it at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. It's a sports bar. You got the big old sports bar going on here still, huh?
It's still our biggest challenge is to, like I was saying, to continue the legacy, and it's not a small legacy. And part of it's the sports.
Yeah,
we have to have at least 10 different signals to, on a Sunday day, you have NFL, at least 8 games, different TVs. You can also have Formula One. You can also have other sports. And we need to continue with that, which is a good challenge. And at the same time, the whole El Torito atmosphere, the whole friendly staff, the ribs that have to be, excellent. Yeah. So we're still working very, very hard on that. And I'm happy with it. I'm proud. And I think we're doing a good job, to be honest. Yeah.
It's just someone who's never been in your place, give them kind of a little bit of a run of your menu. What's that look like?
Of course. It's a very comfortable menu, I will say that. It's you sit down, order your bucket of beer, enjoy your sports, and in the menu you will find comfortable food. Nothing complicated, but very delicious. You'll find from hamburgers, you'll find fish and chips, you'll find, potato wedges with some cheese, and bacon on top.
Nice.
You'll have fried pickles. It's comfortable food that will let you enjoy a very nice dinner or just a beer with your sports. And of course, the world famous barbecue ribs, which I'll never be tired of just feeling proud of them because we're still doing an excellent job on them.
You still have you were doing a little 2-for-1 special yesterday.
You know what? And it's good that you bring it up because that 2-for-1 special, it's like part of it now. It's like part of El Torito,
Yeah.
It's a very funny thing because it's not a promoción nowadays. It's not a special now. It's like people know that from 2 to 4 you have the 2-for-1 ribs in El Torito no matter what.
Right.
And so the 2-for-1 special from 2 to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday.
Excellent. All right. Yeah. So more than just ribs, you guys. There's other things that are really some real treats, right? So if people want to find this place, of course, you're easy to find in the Marina.
Exactly. It's very simple. In Marina, there's a big well in the entrance, a big well, and you just head left all the way to the boardwalk, Marina boardwalk, and I'm the first restaurant on your left-hand side.
Yeah, you can't miss it.
Yeah, you can't miss it. We have a big, big sign, very beautiful sign, and you can't miss it. Yeah, it's very nice.
So if people were going to come here to the Marina, maybe people haven't been out here to the Marina, other than restaurants and stuff, what else can they do around here?
We have I say we have because I'm part of the Marina, right? On Thursdays we have the flea market on Thursdays. The flea market, yeah. And it turns out to be nowadays a very popular thing to come on Thursday nights. People walk around. They can find a lot of different small businesses that have their stands on the boardwalk. And you find amazing, amazing brands, amazing new brands, amazing food. Desserts are delicious. So they're delicious. So you can do that. And it's been a a nice part being here in the Marina nowadays. It's you always find a very nice restaurant to have dinner, or just a nice coffee, also to have a nice conversation with friends. So nowadays the Marina is very active. It's very nice to be around here.
Yeah. Just get out there and walk around.
Exactly.
Take a look at the shops and, dream about
Exactly.
living in Marina Vallarta.
And at the end, stop at El Torito for a nice margarita.
Exactly. Or begin. at
Or
El
begin
Torito,
with, yeah.
And then get out there. All right. Let's talk about getting out there. If you were going to be leaving town for a day, doing a day trip, what would you do? What would be maybe your favorite thing to do? Get out of town for a day and come back same day.
Okay. Me, myself, of course, I need to talk for myself.
Yeah.
I will go to Cabo Corrientes, which is where El Tuito is. There's a small town called El Tuito, 45 minutes away from here. And all that area, I really enjoy going over there. They have very nice beaches. There's Tegua, there's Maito, all those over there area. I like it a lot, and I actually go a lot over there. So
And you can stuff that into a day, right? You don't have to.
No, you can go. I mean, you go in the morning, 7 a.m. will be wonderful, just so you can, start the day. And you'll back with the sunset. I mean, 8 p.m., 7 p.m., enjoy a nice day over there. I like to do that. And if you want to stay, there's also a lot of places to stay over there. A lot of places to stay. So it's, that's actually what I do for my week. It's go over there,
Do you? All right.
Yeah.
But how about a 3-day? If you were going to have a little longer, same? You
Same.
just go stay there?
They have, imagine yourself, nice swimming pool, nice cabana, the ocean right in front of you, all the way far away from the big town,
Right.
So I really enjoy going over there and spending my weekends over there. Yeah.
Excellent.
That's where I go.
You have a word of advice for a first timer coming to Puerto Vallarta, other than, hey, got to come to El Torito?
My word of advice will be seriously get to know people, local people. We are very friendly. We are very secure people to talk with, and get to know the local but tourist places of Vallarta. Because nowadays Vallarta, I can't say Vallarta is very tourist right now, because we have a lot of tourists who can't come and they're local now.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm getting my point there. We're locals now here. So, just talk to people, go into a bar, talk to people, ask for recommendations. Whatever you need, you can find it here in Vallarta. Very nice places to dance, very nice places to go and have dinner, to have a good time. So whatever you need, be comfortable and feel free and safe to talk to people, because you'll find very friendly people in Vallarta.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Any words of warning?
Of what warnings? Well, but not because of Vallarta. My word of warning will be in general. Wherever place you go in the world, not only Vallarta, will just be smart enough to see what's going on. That will be a general kind of advice. Not Vallarta. That's in the whole world. Yeah,
Anywhere.
Wherever you go, you should be. You know what I mean. You should be aware of what's happening, of what you're doing. But that will be just be smart. Just be smart. Have a good time.
Excellent. Great advice. All right, so let's come back over here to El Torito. Well, do you have any hobbies? What do you like to do? You surf? You do anything like that?
I love to. I like to exercise. I can do gym. I can go to CrossFit. I can jog. I like to be active.
Yeah, you're a fit guy, so that's good.
Well, if I didn't do exercise, I probably would be crazy right now. And there's, with too many businesses, with businesses going around, with a lot of going on around, I need to keep my mind kind of busy, Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because we have, talking right now, I have the restaurant here. I have a marketing agency, and I have the Hotel Lina over there in downtown.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of of work right there.
Are you running the Hotel Lina?
Yeah, I'm running the
really?
Hotel Lina. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's also a very. If we could talk about it, just very
Please,
few.
let's talk
That's
about it. Come on, this is your show.
That's also from the whole legacy of my family led us here, right? The Hotel Lina was raised by my grandma, my dad's mom, and that's even. Before El Torito was what
I know,
was even born.
my mouth is agape right now. You can't see it, but I'm going, really? Because that is
it's
been here forever.
Yeah, exactly, forever. And And there's a very, very beautiful story around that hotel and around the family because, okay, very fast. I don't want to bore you with my story.
Believe me. Go.
So my grandma was from this ranch near El Tuito or that area.
Okay.
When she was young, her mind was a little bit more, how do you want to say it, a little different kind of mentality than the people from a little ranch, right?
Uh-huh.
So she came out, she started the business of the hotel, and since then she has been given people from the ranch work or hospitality to stay there since like ever, right?
Yeah.
So, and that was the story of the hotel. So she started like building more and more rooms in the hotel because she was giving hospitality to the people from the ranch.
Right.
And the same way was when El Torito was born. She also was first time involved in El Torito with my dad, and people from the ranch came and helped her out, and help the business going out. And that's more or less how the business started to grow up for my family.
Oh, that's very cool. So how many rooms are at the hotel?
I think it's like 20 rooms right
20
now.
rooms.
Yeah, like 20 rooms.
It's a sweet little Mexican hotel. Mexican style hotel is really, if you're just walking by, just stick your head in and look in there. It's got a little courtyard.
It's kind of a jewel in the old town because it's that old typical little hotel in Old Town. Very, very friendly. We try to have a very clean, friendly hotel, very family hotel, but it's old hotel, but it's typical and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
We have a huge mango tree right in front on the lobby, and yeah, that's also what we do here.
There you go. That's old Vallarta, you guys. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, that's it's kind of hidden though, because if you're walking by, there's just a little exactly you'll miss it exactly.
It's like a tile sign on the wall. You'll know it when you see it. You go, of course, it's there, but it is. It's like
if you stick your head a little bit, you can start seeing the whole humongous hotel that we have there.
Yeah.
It's so weird, very beautiful, typical hotel.
Very
exactly.
Wow, that is cool.
And if you see me there, please say hi because I love to meet people.
Very good. Well, I'll have a picture of him in the show notes so you can see his smiling face. You can find it there. So check out the episode. You'll see Reno's smiling face. All right, let's come back to El Torito. Once again, you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram. How do we find you guys?
Yeah, just like that. Torito.com, that's our webpage. From there, you can go and all social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We have everything. TikTok we have now and days also. So we're very active in Facebook and Instagram mostly. Yeah, you can find there a lot of pictures from our clients, from our staff, from the sports, from events that we have. And on Facebook, you'll find a lot of upcoming events. Yeah, a lot of upcoming events. We have all different events, sports, UFC fights. We have the Champions League. We have any sport you can imagine in the world, you'll find it with us. We have the Canadian football, the American football. We have the NHL, NCAA football, everything we have here. So, that's what. So make sure if you come here and if you ask for your sport and it's not available or something happened, make sure to come to me and I'll fix it because we have to. Yeah. We have to have it.
Absolutely right. All right. Well, I'll have links to all those in the show notes. And of course, I'll have directions and I'll have a Google map that'll take you right to the front door of El Torito Bar and Restaurant right here in... Oh, and sports bar. I got to say sports bar too, right?
Yeah, of course.
Right here in Marina Vallarta. Anything I'm missing? Anything you want to add before we say goodbye today?
Just to say thank you to you and very, very grateful for you to ask me for this interview, for this podcast. Thank you a lot. Pleasure to meet you. And anytime, it will be a pleasure to see you here again and all your audience also.
All the listeners. Hey, they're still here, everybody. You can come to El Torito, enjoy them over at Marina Vallarta. Reno, thanks, brother. Thanks for allowing me to introduce you to my audience. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Reno. Thank you so much for sharing the story of your family and your restaurants and, of course, the Hotel Lena, too. What a surprise. I have links to all of that and more in the show notes, including some food porn, too. But remember, if you're looking for it today, the day that the podcast comes out, you will be disappointed. Look for it tomorrow evening. All right. Well, hey, that should do it for this week. Next week, stay tuned for more on the ground reports from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with travel tips, great restaurant and excursion ideas, and more. But until then, remember that this is an interactive show where I depend on your questions and your suggestions about all things Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, well, please reach out to me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending us your message. And remember, if you're considering booking any type of tour while you are in Puerto Vallarta, well, you got to go to vallartainfo.com. That's JR's website, and reserve your tour through him right from his website. Remember, this is a value for value proposition. It's his experience and his on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for your making a purchase of a tour that you pay. You do it anyway. You're just doing it through him as a way of saying thank you. Thanks, JR, for being our guide. It costs no more than if you were going to use someone else. So do it, really. And when you do take one of these tours, well, email me about your experiences. Maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending off a message. And don't forget, he's got his maps, his DIY tours. I have all of those links and more in the show notes. And once again, if you like this podcast, well, hey, please take some time and subscribe or follow or share with a lover of Puerto Vallarta. Give me a good review if you like. Wherever or however you happen to be listening. That way we can get the word out to more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Remember, I made it easy for you to do just that with each episode I create. But if you haven't been to my website, hey, you really need to have a look there. I have links to all the things that we talk about, interesting places, interesting pictures, and more right there in my blog posts and in the show notes for each episode of the show. So check them out for sure, okay? All right. Thank you to Ernesto Garagos and Vika for coming on the show. Give us the latest from the Isla. And, of course, the Vallarta Cultural Center located on Isla Cuale. And, hey, take an art walk with them over there. And talking about taking a walk, thanks so much to Manny Hernandez from Vallarta Ghost Walk. Take one of his, or maybe two of his walks. Wait, both. Why not? And thank you so much to Reno Perez from El Torito Restaurant and Bar in Marina, Vallarta. Stop in and catch your favorite sporting event while enjoying their world-famous barbecue ribs. So yummy, so good. And as I said, I'll have all the pictures and the links in the show notes for you by tomorrow after Dia de los Muertos parade on the 2nd of November. So look for all those links and look right there in the show notes then, please. And thanks to all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler signing off with a wish for you to all slow down, be kind, and live the Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de amor junto al mar. Oh, oh, solo camino eterno por la playa, me encuentro junto al río cuando todo está en calma. Pronto cae la noche, me brillas Puerto Vallarta, samba de Puerto Vallarta.